Değerli izleyicilerimiz, Lisansüstü Kariyer Söyleşileri programımıza hoş geldiniz. Bugün programımızı İngilizce olarak gerçekleştireceğiz. Bu doğrultuda programımıza İngilizce kısmı için ben geçiş yapmak istiyorum. Size keyifli seyirler diliyorum. Dear audience, welcome to all of you to the program Graduate Career Interviews organized by Kariyer and Alumni Center Directorate with the support of Graduate School, Directorate of Public Relations and Marketing, and broadcasts live by the Media Center of Direction of Yaşar University on the Yaşar University's YouTube channel. Today, our guest is Ali Mashhadi, who graduated from the Department of Economics in 2018 and the Program of Economics in 2020. Hi, Ali. Welcome to our program. Happy to see you.
Hello. Thank you for having me here. Glad to be here.
Nice. Okay. Dear audience, Ali joins our program from Canada. There now it's 7 a.m. So I want to start. I know that he's too busy, so I want to start my interview questions quickly. First of all, Ali, you are both graduated from undergraduate and a graduate degree from Yaşar University. First of all, can you give some information about your undergraduate education? For example, where did you hear Yaşar University? How did you decide to study in Turkey, especially in Izmir? And how did you prefer the undergraduate department? And how did the education you received here contribute to you?
Right. So before joining Yaşar University, I was studying my final years of high school in India, actually. I was outside of my country, and I was looking for a university to start studying for my bachelor degree. So I was just like, typically applying for all of these degrees across the world. I just managed to get some application. Then I was just like, I've never been to Turkey. Turkey is close to my home. Why not try Turkey? And I did apply to a couple of universities across Turkey, in Istanbul, in Izmir. Yaşar University was one of them. I think it was the only one in Izmir. And when I finally got the admission from Yaşar University, I was like, yeah, like Turkey sounds like a pleasant option. Why not? Let's give it a try. And I did. And I'm happy it turned out to be a great one. And regarding the study and education I had on my undergrad, I think the core structure of the curriculum, which was offered by the department, was very strong. Did learn about the macroeconomics, econometrics, managerial economics, mathematical economics, which are very core and essential to your success as an economist, and analytical courses like historical economic courses, and some accounting, some financial courses. Those are all integral and very important to your success as a graduate of economics, and this is what the education in the Yaşar University brought to me. So, which I'm very glad.
Also, statistics and the other courses.
For sure.
Okay, after you finalize your undergraduate degree, you started your graduate education. Can you give information about your program of the economics to the candidates who want to study at Yaşar University? For example, the courses, the academic staff, the class environment, etc.
So the experience that I had both in the undergrad and the graduate were just like amazing. Like in terms of the class environment and my classmates and the staff, very professional, very friendly, especially the staff and the professors. I'm still keeping very close connection to them. We are still in touch, even though we might be far from each other, but we are still in touch, and I'm very grateful for their help as friends, not just my professors. And I can definitely vouch for their professionalism and the level of education that they have and their experience. I'm pretty sure, like as many of you might know, the prospect students that are doing the research, the academic staff of this university is just amazing. They're coming with a lot of experience studying and teaching in abroad. So you're definitely in good hands in the university here. And yeah, it's going to be a great experience for you.
I think it's a great chance to all the students and graduates. In addition, we would like to also thank to all our academic staff working in the Department of Economics for their valuable efforts and contributions to our students and graduates' education. And my third question, what has graduate education brought you?
Right. So when I started to study economics, my understanding of economics was very premature. I thought like, hey, I'm going to study economics. I love money. it's just gonna be about money, and that was my thought process coming in. But I was quite surprised about what I ended up learning. So to my surprise, it ended up being a like social science more than anything. It's a very vast knowledge that you carry to your daily life, day to day, every single day. Indirectly, even I can even tell, like, I have the applications of my education in my daily, day-to-day work life and use for my own personal life every single day. So there is not a single day that I feel like, hey, my education was futile, it didn't work out, I just ended up studying something that is not useful. No, that is not the case, and I'm very happy with the education I got, um, and what taught me as a person in general.
Okay. Ali, we know that every job includes certain specific competencies. If somebody is considering to become an economist, what skills and abilities should they have, do you think?
Right. As an economist, you definitely need to have an open eye about your surroundings. You need to be welcoming towards the ideas. You need to think about what's happening around you and think critically and analytically, because there are certain things going on around you that you might think they have a very small value, but they do have a chain effect in what's about to happen in the future. An economy is what teaches you more than anything what human beings as a group or individually are going to act in a society, because economy is a study of resources and managing the resources, not just the money. So you will learn how individuals turn out to behave in a society when things go wrong or when things are booming and doing great. So yes, and you need to understand the markets. You need to passionately study, not just because you have to study. You need to apply your level of critical analytical view in your different perspectives. So basically, it could be a daily operation from a small business view, from a government view, from a different market view, or to anything, any fun news that you hear about you, like the housing market, the Bitcoin nowadays is just like the topic of the conversation. So it is a knowledge that is applicable across multiple industries and environments, for sure.
In addition, I would like to ask you another question indicated to this question. What do you think about the internships for undergraduate students?
Definitely, I'd heavily recommend them, because as great as the knowledge is, the work experience is something that you only will get by working and becoming an internship. So if there is a chance for you to work as an intern in a field of statistics, in the field of computer science, in this because nowadays, as the technology is growing, the most of the analytical and modeling works are requiring graduates of economics to know a degree of computer science, for example, and level of modeling. And yeah, so combined with those, you will be able to create products for companies who are basically running the internet, running the uh, top 500, for example, companies in the world. You will see the job openings. Most of them are just like related to, hey, we need an economist, but the economist needs to have some degree of applicable, like for example, computer knowledge or some sort of programming. So if you can combine your knowledge of economics, which is a great knowledge, you can add it to many different fields. So if you can combine that with a different sort of a skill, if you will, it will be a huge asset and bonus for you. So yeah.
I think it's a useful opportunity and a great opportunity for all the students in the universities. Ali, I know that you are both continuing your education at the Institute of Canadian Securities and working as a day-to-day account specialist in TD Canada Trust. The question that is generally asked, can business life and graduate education be carried out together?
Definitely. So it's an interesting balance. You need to think of it as in a scale. So essentially, you will be working like about 8 to 10 hours a day, and then you have to manage your studies in a way that is useful for giving you a career opportunity. So you need to think what is about to happen with your studies and what's your goal. So you have to set a sort of expectation and have a clear goal in mind. So I would say bachelor studies and the graduate studies are the time that you can experiment more with your options. Like if you don't like something, you can a little experiment and basically jump around with your options. But when you are a professional starting a career, your times are kind of more limited, so you need to, but thankfully by the time you finish studying you will have a clear perspective that what's best for you and what's needed for your career in order to push you forward towards the success. So yes, you will be studying most of the time something that is either required by your company, either required by your industry, because when you are hired there are certain expectations and certain necessities, so like skills that are needed to push you towards a higher level of like career. So if you are basically not doing that and depriving yourself from the studies of the higher education studies, essentially you will be experiencing a lesser opportunities, which is not great if you are asking me. So yes, never stop learning. It will be kind of it will be a balance that you will get used to. So sometimes you might feel tired, hey, I just bored, but I don't want to study anymore. But no, you will feel it. It's a necessity and you will basically find a balance for it. So yes, it is definitely possible.
Okay. If you enjoy, you can do everything possible. And also time management and planning is the critical point in this case, I think. You're working as a day-to-day account specialist, as I said before, in TD Canada Trust. Could you please give us some details about the scope of your activities, especially what kind of tasks that you prefer?
Yes. So as an account specialist, what we do is actually quite vast and profound. Basically, here in Canada, the banking industry relies still heavily on the phone banking, for example. So you can basically do almost about 800 tasks over the phone. So as agents, we do a little bit of everything. So it's either we are advising our customers based on the best investment plans regarding their account opportunities, either a saving or a checking account, a line of credit, a credit card, also like general troubleshootings that might happen with your accounts, like security of your account, either be it a fraud inspection or helping with some customers that are dealing with fraud, and giving some advice regarding the mortgage, like basic stuff, because we have like higher departments that do deal with that. So yes, and a lot of different things like wiring money, transferring money. It's just like we do a lot of things over the phone, and yeah. So it's basically the first job I have in the Canada Trust right now, and as a starting position, I feel like it's a very task that demands a lot of multitasking, because you're constantly in contact with the customer and their needs are just shifting every single day. So you need to find that balance of like multitasking in your daily life, for sure.
You're at the beginning level, so I think that you're going to rise the steps quickly, I think, because I know your abilities. Ali, can you give us some information about your thesis that you do with your advisor in here?
Right. So my topic of thesis was to study the reasons behind the financial crisis and study the effects of financial crisis and what causes a financial crisis, the different part of the world, essentially. So I did group up the countries and did put up I did basically separate them based on different groups of the top 20 countries, economy wise, top 20 countries of the world, top 7 rest of the world, which was combined with a lot of like middle income and lesser income countries. And we did try to find out what did happen from a certain time span from 1990 to 2018, essentially, to what has happened and what caused and triggered the financial crisis and economic crisis, essentially, within those geographies. And what we found was that there were like multiple factors and indicators that were synonymous and the same between the groups. It did carry over the different geographies regardless. So we could know and call them the commonplace factors. And there were some factors that were basically very exclusive to some geographies. It did only happen for a certain group, and it did not happen for a certain group. So, for example, the housing market crash, which caused a huge financial economy downturn, as you might have known. So yes, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to work with the Professor Ayşe Zambirkan, and I definitely thank their efforts in helping me in these studies. Yeah.
Great. Dear audience, if you want to listen Ali's thesis, you can find it on Yaşar University YouTube channel, on Graduate School's channel. So you can find the details about his thesis. Ali, do you have any suggestions for the candidates for just starting or planning to start economics education? How should they train themselves to be successful in their profession, or what should they do? Or why is postgraduate education important in your field? Exactly.
Right. So, like as great as the undergrad studies in economics is, economics in the undergrad gives you the level understanding of what's happening with the economic studies, and which is essential. You need to know what are the basic definitions in this basically knowledge, and you will learn what are the scopes that help you determine what is happening around you in terms of the macro level and micro level. But when we are talking about the graduate studies opens a whole new different perspective towards you. And I can definitely tell right now, even in my line of work, which is banking industry, like the graduate studies is helping me to understand my customers better, for the fact that I just had some great opportunity to learn more about the behavioral economics. And in the behavioral economics, we discuss lengthily about how agents behave, how engines are expected to behave. And I can definitely tell I do see living cases every single day when they are approaching me as clients. So yes, the graduate studies are applicable, and they are more towards the application rather than the theories in the graduate studies, and they are more profound and in depth. So if you want to basically get a better understanding for your profession, for your career, I definitely recommend a higher level of education in economics in the terms of graduate studies. And basically, it's no secret that if you want to become an academician, basically you just have to go through it. So yes, definitely something that I do recommend at this day and age, that everyone is trying to be as competitive as possible in the working career as well. Definitely you need to have a graduate studies. Yeah.
Okay. Now, a final question.
Sure.
I'm so sorry, but the time is up. How could you describe Yaşar University?
Well, after spending about 6 years in this beautiful place, I can definitely only have good words about this place. Anything from the environment, from the management team, from the department, economics for me, the department of economics, always helpful, very open and very welcoming towards students. There was never a moment that I felt like I was let down, I was disappointed, and I was turned away because I had a question or I needed something. And definitely they always gave me more than what I needed as a student. And the connection that I had and I have with my professor and the staff is still great to this day. So I definitely recommend the Yaşar University. And as you know, connected to the Erasmus, if you want to try, definitely a great place to try. The Turkey is a beautiful country, culture, food, amazing weather, everything combines together. And why not try that? The Yaşar University is a great place to be.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Dear Ali, it was a very enjoyable interview. Thank you very much for taking time for us. We wish you success in your academic and business lives. Hope to see you again in Izmir, okay? See you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dear audience, this is the end of our program. I would like to thank my friends who contributed to the broadcast, Cenk, Burçin, Seçkin, and Sema. Hope to see you in another interview. Stay healthy.